Hey everybody, welcome to day 3 of AWSI. We're so fortunate to be talking to our main man Garry here today.
Yeah. What's happening, Luke? Day 3. It's been 3 days, 3 marathon days, a lot of talking, so my voice is a little shattered, but the energy's been absolutely bumping here. We haven't had a ton of wind here, but people have been going just 7 miles to the west of here and getting some pretty good sessions in, so that's pretty awesome. It's been hot and smoky, but hey, today's the last day of the weekend's right around the corner, so it's good. But I want to bring all your viewers and listeners up to speed a bit on Ride Engine and what we do. So we're an accessory brand in the wind sport industry, in the water sports industry, mainly focused on wind sports. And just a little brief history about what Ride Engine is that we started out as a custom harness for wind sports, for kiteboarding and windsurfing. This guy, Coleman Buckley, he's an absolute genius, started the brand in Santa Cruz, California, and he was literally sending this stuff to customers called Instamorph. You can go buy it at the Home Depot. They would take a rude mold of their back, send it back to him, and then he'd create a mold off that and create a carbon back plate. And so you can get this custom mold. So Ride Engine actually invented the hard shell harness, and I know a lot of wing foilers out there. They come from a kite surfing background, and guaranteed they probably consider it a hard shell harness for their kite surfing. And that's actually starting to translate now, which you'll see in a bit, into the wing foil realm too, having that support of having more of a hard shell than something soft. But that is kind of how Ride Engine got started, and since those days with Coleman building his garage, then commercializing the product and making it at a more let's call it a mass distribution or just a bigger level to get it to more people, because one guy building harnesses in his garage, that's a pretty tough thing to do. So Ride Engine ended up taking all that data that he had, creating what's called the Average Joe, Average Jane mold, and creating the only data-derived, scientifically derived harness out there to fit your lower back. So that's pretty awesome on the wind sport side. So, and what that does for you is it's like an arch in your shoe at the end of the day. You know, everyone has an arch in their foot. They're all different. So we average that out, and now we have a really perfectly fitting harness with no pressure points. It stays on your body a lot tighter and so forth. It doesn't twist around with the power of the kite or the windsurfing harness line. So it's awesome. And pretty much the whole industry followed. So, hey, flattery.
My brother rides it.
Cool.
Bunch of family members have them.
Awesome. So, hey, we're talking about wing foiling here, so let's jump right into the Ride Engine wing foil products.
Let's do it.
So, we have 2 new harnesses in the line. You guys can always go to rideengine.com and see our entire wing foil harness offering, but we're really proud of this one. This one is called the Bati, and the Bati is taking that hard shell DNA from our kiteboarding and windsurfing harnesses and applying it to wing foiling. So we have what's called curved material. Curved material is a material that is flat in the beginning, and then you thermal form it. And it has a lot of properties of Kevlar and carbon, but it's not Kevlar and carbon. But it does hold a nice stiff profile overall. So what this does for you when you're wing foiling, there's not a lot of pressure on that harness line, but there's enough that you can get point loading and so forth if you have a real flexible harness. And that's going to basically distribute that pressure across your whole lower back, so you're more comfortable, you can ride longer. You can't even tell that you actually have the harness line hooked in, other than the fact that all the pressure's off your arms. You don't feel it being transferred through to your lower back because it's being distributed throughout your whole back. The other beautiful thing about the Bati harness is the way it integrates with your body. We use what's called thermoformed EVA on the inside, and then we put a nice lycra lamination on the inside so you can wear it with trunks. It's not going to abrade your body. But the beautiful thing about thermoformed EVA is it doesn't absorb any water. So it's extremely lightweight, and the key is it stays extremely lightweight when it's in use on the water. Obviously, we have what we call the nug hook. This slides out of the way if you have to paddle for any reason, like to get through the surf or the shore break, and you just got to paddle really quick. The wind dies and you have to paddle back to the beach. You can move it out of the way so it doesn't ding your board. So it's really just a beautiful harness. It gives you a lot of support to allow you to ride on the water longer. And we always say, I think I said this in the podcast when we were on, it's kind of not a matter of if you're going to wear a harness, it's if you're wing foiling. So,
well, La Ventana, when we're there this winter, right?
Yeah.
Like starting at Latuna, it's a 6K down to the beach.
yeah,
And I would burn my arms and my back to come back.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Totally.
This winter, I need something.
well, cool.
Oh, what's this little gadget?
Absolutely. So now we're taking some inspiration from the old windsurfing days to where there's chest harnesses. And we actually realized Jeff Lagoche, who's the founder of Slingshot, he had this idea. He's like, hey, I used to windsurf. I used to windsurf in the waves. And actually the best harness he used for windsurfing in the surf was a chest harness. I'm like, why a chest harness? He's like, just because of the way that it was orientated on his body, he was able to use a shorter harness line. And a lot of that transferred straight to wing foiling. So we decided to make a chest harness. The key benefits of this is the hook is high up on you, so you can use a lot shorter harness line. And if you use a bungee one, it can be very short. So now when you're pumping, you're not getting hit with the harness line. The other thing is you don't get any hooking in when you don't want to hook it in. There's times when you have a waist harness, you're holding the wing low. Next thing you know, you want to go into a transition, you accidentally hook into your waist harness hook. This will eliminate you accidentally hooking in overall. The other really nice benefit of the chest harness is the hook doesn't need to slide to the side. So if you have to paddle or when you're getting up here on your board,
Good point,
it's
actually.
already out of the way.
So where does it sit?
It's sitting very high up on your chest, almost right here. And so when you're naturally paddling, also your chest is up, so it's not in contact with the board whatsoever. So you don't have to worry about moving the hook out of the way. Some people say like, oh, but when I'm riding toe side, I love my hook to slide over. But really, even when you're riding toe side, if you think about your body position and what's going on, you're twisted into it enough, and that harness line naturally finds a really nice place to even riding toe side to have a good point upwind. The hook can be removed, which is beautiful. So this can turn into a downwind sup pack, which a lot of people like. What's nice about a downwind sup pack or even a pack for if you're wing foiling for a long time is we have a little backpack in the back and a pouch. It's not waterproof, but you can put a nice little waterproof like cell phone pouch in there, and you could put your cell phone in here. So say the wind dies, you're on a big downwinder and you have to come in because the wind dies, you have to call someone to pick you up because you didn't make your final destination. So a little bit of safety built in there and so forth. And we have a 2-liter hydration pack. So when you're doing those big upwinders at La Ventana, you're getting a little thirsty, you can fill this with some water or maybe in Mexico cerveza.
Yeah,
And
there
you
you
can,
go.
you
Improve
can,
my riding.
you can stay hydrated overall. What's really key about this too is the fit. So we use what we call this 4-point cradle system. So every single strap is adjustable. And when you tighten this down and get it on your body, you actually forget that you have it there. Plus the 4-point system stabilizes it so well on your body that you don't have anything swinging around whatsoever. So it's extremely stable on your body and distributes that pressure of the harness line through the straps, both above your arms and over your shoulders and underneath your arms, so you don't feel any pressure whatsoever. So it's a really, really cool pack overall. Always, weight's a key issue for us at Ride Engine. We're trying to make things lighter, and not just lighter off the shelf, but lighter when you're using it. And all the padding inside to make it comfortable is closed cell EVA, so it doesn't absorb water whatsoever, so it stays lightweight when it's in use. So yeah,
It looks like it's all Velcro attachments there.
Yep,
so it's
absolutely.
pretty
Hook and loop attachments, so you can get a really precise fit overall. You know, some people are very broad in the shoulders, but have a tinier, around the rib cage, so you can get that nice custom fit. So yeah, it's called the Free Float.
free float.
Free floating along. Cool.
All right, good job.
Yeah, so those are our 2 new wing harnesses for this year. The other thing that we're really excited about is protection is really key for wing foiling in my book. You have this foil underneath you, you have a board. There's a lot more chances that you can have contact with that stuff. So we're expanding our helmet line. We've already had the Barrier soft helmet. This is a fully CE approved headwear protection helmet. We use Lycra laminated EVA, which is an inert material. So it provides that protection when it gets hit. It doesn't move out of the way. It basically, when it compresses, it gets a little bit harder, So that means you're transferring all that energy into the material rather than into your head. So it's really nice.
Okay.
Next one we're very proud of, which will be coming out in the spring, is called the Charger helmet. And this helmet is very specific to water sports use. We also put a lot of thought into it for hydrofoiling use. So the big difference between this helmet and, say, some of the larger fitting helmets out there with the adjustments is this fits very close to your head. Very hydrodynamic. So if you are piercing the water super fast, if you're in the surf and you have to duck dive, say you're going with your wing foiling and you have to paddle through some shore break and you have to duck dive with the wing behind you, this sheds water real quick. It won't get pulled off the back of your head. And it provides all the protection that you need and so forth. And we're actually really promoting this a lot because sometimes these helmets with the adjustment, they're great for flat water cruising around. But if you're doing any type of jumping, going through the surf and all, you're going to want a closer fitting helmet. And then we have this nice EVA all around it. One of my buddies who works for another brand actually got hit with a foil in the cheek the other day. Oh, yeah. Works for Access. Okay. Nick, if he would have had this, he would have saved himself a little bit of shaving his cheek off. So having that kind of full protection around your face is really important to us. This can be customized, however, if people just want the hard shell cap. We're going to provide downloadable patterns to where you can, modify the cheek and the ear protection. You can also modify the neck protection if you're paddling a lot and you want a little more freedom to where this is not hitting you in the back of the neck. You can do a little kind of arc in here to make that more free-flowing and comfortable. So, yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
It's called the Charger.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah. This comes in obviously high visibility orange, downwind supping, long downwinders. High visibility is very important to be seen out there and not disappear into the wild ocean or the center of the river.
Yeah, no, very, very true.
Totally.
And it comes also in, I guess.
Yep, we have it in black. People love black if you want to disappear, and the high visibility. And then we have another one, which is kind of a soft gray, which is a very visible color also. Okay. It's pretty cool.
Awesome. What's next, sir?
Yeah, the last thing I would love to talk about is our bags. So we have an epic bag line. Our big thing that we did with our bags this year is reduced weight greatly in our travel bags. So we have two lines of bags called the Reserve series, which are these gray bags. We have a wing foil travel coffin. Then we have a mid-length, Then we have a mid-length surf travel coffin that's going to work for mid-length boards. Absolutely awesome. Some of the downwind sub boards and so forth. And then we also have, obviously, we still deal with kiteboarders and wakeboarding and all that. We have a golf bag to travel with that type of gear. The key, though, is the weight. We were able to reduce the weight on our bags. For example, in our wing surf travel coffin, through material science and what we're using, we reduced it about 20%. In our mid-length surf travel coffin, we're going to reduce it by 40%. So this is about a 7-pound bag. You're going to go. So that is a light bag. And travel these days is, when you're checking in boards, you're checking in wings, you're checking in all your gear, your wetties, your harnesses. Weight is a huge factor. So if you're already starting with a 10-pound or 12-pound board bag, you can't bring as much stuff. So this comes right in around 7 pounds. So
that's good.
It's a great weight reduction in the bags. The other thing everyone's probably thinking is like, oh, what about the protection? Did they do it? Same exact protection. So we use a 10-millimeter closed cell foam, sidewalls, top cap, and bottom cap. Highly protected for the board. So your boards should get there depending on how these baggage handlers do it. But it provides a lot of protection so you can get your boards to your destination ding-free and back home ding-free. So that's pretty nice.
Very good.
The other series we have is called the Solar Shield. Whoa, my voice. After 3 days of doing this.
I don't doubt, man.
Totally. The Solar Shield bag line. And again, weight was a big issue. This is a tarpaulin bag line. And we're using a single top layer tarpaulin sandwiched with bottom layer tarpaulin. And then for this particular one, which is our downwind or mid-length board bag, we still use a 10-millimeter foam. 10-millimeter closed cell foam, top cap, sidewall, bottom cap. So this one you could probably put on an airplane pretty confidently, and your board will get there, hopefully damage free. In our day bags, we use a 5mm top cap, sidewall, bottom cap. That's to reduce the weight. Obviously, these are like in transport for your car and your van, so they're not getting chucked by baggage handlers, and to keep the sun and the heat off your boards. So we're super stoked on that. And we have sizes to accommodate every board, every brand, all that kind of fun stuff. So we thought that through is pretty thoroughly.
I would think
Yeah.
so. Awesome.
So that's kind of the highlight of our wing foil specific stuff.
Okay.
Obviously, we encourage everyone to go check out rideengine.com. We got all kinds of other cool stuff, from some of the best wetsuits, obviously, we feel on the planet. We use Yamamoto 40 rubber on there, which is the highest limestone grade neoprene rubber on the planet, with a geometric cell profile. So it's like a 4.3, can reach into 5.43 temperatures, high memory value, some of the best wetsuits out there. And obviously we have impact vests and so forth that are keep you on the water, not put you on the sidelines if you have an accident. So that's
all right, Gary. Thanks, man. Thanks for taking the time on the last day. Thanks for working through that throat.
Awesome, man. I'm looking for the wind to come back, get on the water, and not have to talk as much. Yeah.
I get you.
Sweet.
Thanks.